The Secret Admirer by Donna Guthrie. Illustrated by Tony Sansevero. Narrated by V.O. Barb. Last winter, when the ground was covered with snow, my great-grandmother said, "This house is too big for me and the yard is too much work. I think I'll move." Grams chose an apartment at the Sunny Acres rest home and right before Valentine's Day. Mom and I helped her move in. Grams put plastic flowers on the windowsill and planted seeds in little brown pots to remind her of her garden. She hung a picture of Pop-Pop on the wall, along with a picture of me. "I like my pictures big," said Grams. "My eyes just aren't what they used to be." I handed her the little wire-rimmed glasses she sometimes wore, but she just smiled and put them in her pocket. On Saturday morning, Grams and I took the Sunny Acres shopping bus to the grocery store. As we got on, an old man with fuzzy gray hair stood up and offered us his seat. But Grams walked on by. "Grams, there was a seat back there for us," I told her. "What seat?" said Grams. "I didn't see any seat." I pointed to her glasses on top of her head. She just laughed and slipped them in her pocket. On Sunday afternoon, when Grams and I went walking in the Sunny Acres Park, I pointed at the ducks swimming in the pond. "What ducks?" said Grams. "I don't see any ducks." I pointed to her glasses hanging around her neck. She put them on and we watched the ducks paddle away. Nearby, the old man from the bus was sitting on a bench throwing crumbs to the birds. "Hello!" called Grams. "I'm your new neighbor. I live in apartment 2A, just across the street from you." The man stared straight ahead at the small birds pecking at his feet. He didn't answer. "He's not very friendly," said Grams. She put her glasses in her pocket and we walked on. On Monday, when Grams and I went to the Sunny Acres post office, the old man was waiting outside. He smiled at Grams and tipped his hat. "Grams," I whispered. "I think that man likes you." "What man?" she said. "I don't see any man." I took the glasses from her pocket and handed them to her. When we came out of the post office, it was cold and the wind was blowing. Grams turned up her collar and called out, "It's a nice day for polar bears, isn't it?" The old man didn't answer. He just went on reading his mail as if she hadn't spoken. Grams shook her head sadly. "He's not very friendly," she said. That afternoon, Grams and I made cookies. "Well, the cookies are cooling. Let's make some Valentines," said Grams. "Hearts are the symbol of love," said Grams. She folded the paper in half. "Draw the beginning of the number 2 on one side, and then cut carefully on the line." Soon the whole table was filled with red hearts. I made a heart for every person I loved. The extra ones I put on the refrigerator, hung in the window, and pinned in my hair. When I left Grams' apartment, the old man was outside filling up a bird feeder. The wind whirled around us, pulling at my scarf and making me shiver. "Hello," he said. "I'm Dr. Chadwick, your great-grandmother's neighbor. I live in 2B. I smiled at him. "I like your bird feeder," I said. "Made it myself. Easy to do. I could teach anybody." "Would you teach me?" I asked. The wind whistling loudly. "What did you say?" Dr. Chadwick touched his ear. "You have to speak up. I don't hear as well as I used to, especially when I forget to wear my hearing aid." The thick gray clouds overhead gathered around us and the wind blew harder. Dr. Chadwick buttoned up his coat. "It's a nice day for polar bears, isn't it?" "That's what Grams always says." "Not to me," said Dr. Chadwick. "Every time I smile or tip my hat, she walks on by as if she doesn't even see me. She's not very friendly." Just then, Grams came to her window and looked out. We both waved, but she didn't wave back. She wasn't wearing her glasses. "See what I mean?" said Dr. Chadwick. He went back to filling his bird feeder. That night, I took some red paper and made 2 big hearts. On each one, I wrote a secret message. I hid them in my bottom drawer and waited for Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, I got up very early. Snow had fallen during the night. I put on my winter boots, my heavy coat, and the Valentine mittens from Graham's. Walking through the deep, wet snow to the Sunny Acres rest home, I was very quiet. Everyone was still resting. I tiptoed up to apartment 2A and slipped a Valentine under Graham's door. Silently, I crept across the street to Dr. Chadwick's building and slipped a Valentine under his door, too. Then I hurried away. That afternoon, when I stopped by to visit, Graham said, "Look at the Valentine I received today. It's from a secret admirer." "A secret admirer?" I tried not to giggle. "I wonder who that could be." "Oh, I think I know," said Grams. She put on her glasses and went to the window. Down below, Dr. Chadwick was shoveling the snow from a sidewalk. Grams opened the window and waved. Dr. Chadwick tipped his hat. "It's a nice day, isn't it?" called Grams. "Only for polar bears," replied Dr. Chadwick. Grams laughed. "Why don't you come up for tea?" "I'd like that," said Dr. Chadwick. "I'll be right up as soon as I finish this." For the rest of the afternoon, Dr. Chadwick and I sat in Graham's kitchen, drinking tea and eating Valentine cookies. While they talked, I drew plans for my bird feeder. Finally, when it was time to go, Dr. Chadwick stood up and said, "Thank you for the tea." Then he added with a smile, "And I can't remember the last time someone sent me a Valentine." Grams winked at me. "You're welcome," she said. "I hope I'll see you soon." "Of course," said Dr. Chadwick, "and I'll keep an ear open for you." They both laughed. When Dr. Chadwick left, I admitted what I had done. "This morning I sent Dr. Chadwick a Valentine asking him to wear his hearing aid. That way he could hear you when you spoke to him." "I know," said Grams. "And I sent a Valentine to you asking you to wear your eyeglasses so you could see him when he tips his hat." "I know," she said. "I'm sorry, Grams, but you don't really have a secret admirer." Grams looked out the window and smiled. "Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that."